my friends. Welcome to Preschool Storytime. I am Library Mary. And Tippy, you want to come see me? Nah, I don't think she does. I think she's busy eating. She'll probably come over later. Anyway, she's my bird. But before we get started, let's do open them, shut them. Start out with your eyes closed and your hands closed. And then we're going to open them, shut them, open them, shut them, give a little clap. Open them, shut them, open them, shut them, lay them in your lap. Creep them, creep them, creep them, creep them right up to your chin. Open wide your little mouth, woo, but do not let them in. Open them, shut them, open them, shut them, do your shoulders fly? Then like little birdies let them flutter in the sky. Flutter, 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 falling, 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 falling right down to the ground. Now gather them up and twirl them, twirl them, twirl them, twirl them, faster, 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 slower, 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 slower. Open them, shut them, shut them, give a little clap. Open them, shut them, shut them, lay them in your lap. And, all right, our first story today is one by Joseph Jacobs. It's an old folk tale, and it's called The Johnny Cake. And Johnny cakes are a little bit like pancakes and a little bit like cornbread, but they're round and flat. Here is a picture of Johnny cake. Here we go. And you notice he looks a little like a Twinkie in the picture. I prefer to think of him being round and flat so that he can roll. Anyway, Johnny Cake was too quick for him, and he rolled through the door, down the steps, and out into the road, long before the little boy could catch him. The little boy ran after him as fast as he could clip it, crying out to his father and his mother, who heard the uproar and threw down their hoes and gave chase too. But Johnny Cake outran all three a long way and was soon out of sight, while they all had to sit down, out of breath, on a bank to rest. On went Johnny Cake, and by he came to two well-diggers, who looked up from their work and called out, "Where are you going, Johnny Cake?" He said, "I've outrun an old man and an old woman and a little boy, and I can outrun you too." "You can you? We'll see about that," said they, and they threw down their picks and ran after him, but couldn't catch up with him, and soon they had to sit back on the roadside to rest. Whew. On ran Johnny Cake, and by he came to two ditch diggers who were digging a ditch. That's what ditch diggers do. "Where you going, Johnny Cake?" said they. He said, "I've outrun an old man and an old woman and a little boy and two well diggers, and I can outrun you too." "You can you? We'll see about that," said they, and they threw down their spades and ran after him too. But Johnny Cake soon outstripped them also, and seeing they could never catch him up, they gave up the chase and sat down to rest. On went the Johnny Cake, and by he came to a bear. The bear said, "Where are you going, Johnny Cake?" He said, "I've outrun an old man and an old woman and a little boy and two well diggers and two ditch diggers, and I can outrun you too." "You can you?" growled the bear. "We'll see about that." and he trotted as fast as his legs could carry him after Johnny Cake, who never stopped to look behind him. He just kept going like this. Well, before long, the bear was left so far behind that he thought he might as well give up the hunt first as last. So he stretched himself out by the roadside to rest. Oh, poor bear. But on went Johnny Cake, and by he came to a wolf, and the wolf said, "Where are you going, Johnny Cake?" And he said, "I've outrun an old man and an old woman and a little boy and 2 well diggers and 2 ditch diggers and a bear, and I can outrun you too." "You can ye?" snarled the wolf. "We'll see about that." And he set into a gallop after Johnny Cake, who went on and on and on so fast, even the wolf saw there was no hope of overtaking him, and he too lay down to rest. On went the Johnny Cake, and by he came to a fox that lay quietly in a corner of the fence. The fox called out in a sharp voice, but without getting up, "Where you going, Johnny Cake?" Johnny Cake said, "I've outrun an old man and an old woman and a little boy and 2 well diggers and 2 ditch diggers and a bear and a wolf, and I can outrun you too." The fox said, "I can't quite hear you, Johnny Cake. Won't you come a little closer?" turning his head a little to one side. Johnny Cake stopped his race for the first time and went a little closer and called out in a very loud voice, "I've outrun an old man and an old woman and a little boy and 2 well diggers and 2 ditch diggers and a bear and a wolf, and I can outrun you too." "Can't quite hear you. Won't you come a little closer?" said the feeble voice of the fox. And as he stretched out his neck towards Johnny Cake and put one paw behind his ear, Johnny Cake came up close and, leaning towards the fox, screamed out, "I've outrun an old man and an old woman and a little boy and 2 well diggers and 2 ditch diggers and a bear and a wolf, and I can outrun you too." "You can," yelped the fox. He had snapped up the Johnny Cake in his sharp teeth in the twinkling of an eye. And that, my friends, was the end of Johnny Cake. The end. We're going to do Skip to My Lou. So get out your shakers. If you don't have them, I'll wait. Just put me on pause. Ah, you back? Good. Okay. Lou, skip to my Lou, Lou, skip to my Lou, Lou, skip to my Lou, skip to my Lou, my darling. Flies in the buttermilk shoe, fly shoe, flies in the buttermilk shoe, fly shoe, flies in the buttermilk shoe, fly shoe, skip to my Lou, my darling. Lou, skip to my Lou, Lou, skip to my Lou, Lou, skip to my Lou, skip to my Lou, my darling. Flies in the buttermilk shoe, fly shoe, flies in the buttermilk shoe, fly shoe, flies in the buttermilk shoe, fly shoe, skip to my Lou, my darling. Lou, skip to my Lou, Lou, skip to my Lou, Lou, skip to my Lou, skip to my Lou, my darling. Lost my partner, what'll I do? Lost my partner, what'll I do? Lost my partner, what'll I do? Skip to my Lou, my darling. Lou, skip to my Lou, Lou, skip to my Lou, Lou, skip to my Lou, skip to my Lou, my darling. I'll find another one prettier than you. I'll find another one prettier than you. I'll find another one prettier than you. Skip to my Lou, my darling. Lou, skip to my Lou, Lou, skip to my Lou, Lou, skip to my Lou, skip to my Lou, my darling. And we have have another story. This is another Joseph Jacobs. It's a whole lot like the Bremertown Musicians, if you've ever heard of them. But this version is called How Jack Went to Seek His Fortune. Once on a time, there was a boy named Jack, and one morning he started to go and seek his fortune. He hadn't gone very far before he met a cat. Can you make a cat noise for me? Kind of a meow. That's pretty good. Where are you going, Jack? Said the cat. I'm going to seek my fortune. May I go with you? Yes, said Jack, the more the merrier. So on they went, jiggledy-jolt, jiggedy-jolt. They went a little further, and they met a dog. Do a dog noise now. Woof! Good. Where are you going, Jack? Said the dog. I'm going to seek my fortune. May I go with you? Yes, said Jack, the more the merrier. So on they went, jiggledy-jolt, jiggedy-jolt. They went a little further, and they met a goat. Goats sound a little bit like sheep. Can you do it? Ma. Good job. Where are you going, Jack? Said the goat. I'm going to seek my fortune. May I go with you? Yes, said Jack, the more the merrier. So on they went, jiggledy-jolt, jiggedy-jolt. They went a little further, and they met a bull. Where are you going, Jack? Said the bull. And bulls kind of make a mooing sound. Can you do this? Moo! I'm going to seek my fortune, he said. May I go with you? Yes, said Jack, the more the merrier. So on they went, jiggledy-jolt, jiggedy-jolt. They went a little further, and they met a rooster, and we all know what they say. Cock-a-doodle-doo! Where are you going, Jack? Said the rooster. I am going to seek my fortune. May I go with you? Yes, said Jack, the more the merrier. So on they went, jiggledy-jolt, jiggedy-jolt. Well, they went on till it was about dark, and they began to think of some place where they could spend the night. About this time, they came in sight of a house. Jack told them to keep still while he went and looked in through the window. Oh dear, there were some robbers counting over their money. 2, 3. Then Jack went back and told them to wait until he gave the word, and then to make all the noise they could. I need your help for this. So when they were all ready, Jack gave the word, and the cat meowed, meow, and the dog barked, woof, woof, and the goat bleated, ma, and the bull bellowed, moo, and the rooster crowed, cock-a-doodle-doo. And imagine that, all at the same time. All together they made such a dreadful noise that it frightened the robbers all away. And then they went in and took possession of the house. Jack was afraid the robbers would come back in the night. And so, when it came time to go to bed, he put the cat in the rocking chair, and he put the dog under the table, and he put the goat upstairs, and he put the bull down cellar. And the rooster, he flew up on the roof. So Jack went to bed. By and by, the robbers saw it was all dark, and they sent one man back to the house to look after their money. Before long, he came back in a great fright and told them his story. I went back to the house, said he, and went in and tried to sit down in the rocking chair, and there was an old woman knitting, and she stuck her needles into me. That was the cat, you know. Then I went to the table to look after the money, and there was a shoemaker under the table, and he stuck his awl into me. An awl is like a big needle. That was the dog, you know. Then I started to go upstairs, and there was a man up there threshing, and he knocked me over with his flail. That was the goat, you know. I started to go down cellar, and there was a man down there chopping wood, and he knocked me over with his axe. That was the bull, you know. But I shouldn't have minded all that if it hadn't been for that little fellow on top of the house who kept hollering, "Chuck him up to me! Chuck him up to me!" And of course, that was the cock-a-doodle-doo. And the robbers all ran away, and our friends lived happily ever after. The end. Let's do Skinamarink. Put up one arm like this, hold it up with the other. Skinamarinky-dinky-dink, skinamarinky-doo, I love you. Skinamarinky-dinky-dink, skinamarinky-doo, I love you. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening underneath the moon. Skinamarinky-dinky-dink, skinamarinky-doo, I love you. See you next time. I miss you all. Bye.